Okay. I'm gonna start this out by saying if you want to learn anything, like any truth about this world or how things really work, or pretty much anything, you can't study one thing. You can't look into one thing. Because a lot of times in colleges, what they do is they take you into one subject area, and then they extensively put you in that subject, and the focus gets narrower and narrower. So you become a specialist in that field, which makes you useless and it makes you blind to every other possibility outside of that field, because that becomes your only truth, and that's the only way you can perceive the world. And that's why you have to learn multiple disciplines, because and the other disciplines is the key to unlocking more knowledge in the other discipline, because everything connects. And that's another thing. I found that anything you study, anything you learn about, they all connect somehow, and they all lead back to some greater knowledge, some higher truth. Like, for instance, say studying psychology and nutrition, and then you study like something like bipolar disorder and other mood disorders, and then you realize that, let's say for bipolar disorder, they use lithium carbonate, which is basically, it's lithium because lithium is a mineral, but lithium carbonate is a toxic form of that mineral. You have to take a really high doses for it to affect your brain and get in there. But you can take something called lithium orotate, and lithium orotate is bound to, was it orotic acid? I don't remember, some type of acid, and basically it's able to pass the blood-brain barrier. And pretty much people are missing lithium in their brain, and that's what causes ADHD. Plus, ADHD is actually a very broad range of different mental illnesses, and it's when you hyper obsess about something. It doesn't mean that you are active all the time. It's a very common, I guess, misdiagnosis. But yeah, lithium orotate fucking cures the shit. Fucking cures it. I have been experimenting with myself, and it fucking cures it. And I didn't learn that by going to a doctor. I didn't learn that by saying, fix me. I took it upon myself, and I found the information. It took a while, but I did. And I didn't do it by studying one thing. I went to multiple areas, and that is why most polymaths, when someone is a polymath, they are the people who create all these inventions and all these new discoveries. And the reason it's always polymaths to do that is because in order to do those things, you have to be a polymath. You have to know multiple disciplines in great detail, and the reason why they're able to excel in multiple things is because everything connects, everything leads back to one source. And that source, I mean, we're all part of the universe, and we are all living on this planet. We are all humans, we're all life forms, and then it gets truncated down into like, oh, we're this race, that race, male, female, blah, 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 smart, dumb, high IQ. It's like we pigeonhole ourselves in this identity that we have, and we become blind to reality. I mean, I don't think anybody can see reality for its whole. I mean, you can have better and better and better and better idea of it, but reality is, we're always trying to grasp it better. And it's kind of like wearing a paper bag on your head, and it's like punching holes through the paper bag one at a time. If you keep punching holes, eventually a whole part is going to come up, and then you have another view. So basically what I'm trying to sum up with this video is that in really order to understand anything, like any political view, I don't do any isms. It's because they put people against each other, and they pigeonhole people. And like, once you have something for something, you have something against something. And because this world exists in dualities and opposites and polarities, and that's what happens when you create an ism. But You have to realize that the world is like, it's a whole. And when you understand that it's a whole, you realize that there's a higher order, and things do work in a certain way, and there is a bigger scale to how things work. But I don't think everything is predetermined. I think the world is deterministic, and how there are laws like gravity that you can't change, that's deterministic. But there is, I think, a free choice variable. I really do. And I think that helps you find, I don't know, man. I'm tired. I'm gonna go. I don't have a lot of time because I'm doing this at work again. Yeah, and I haven't put up a video in a while. Been going through some stuff. About to make some life changes, which is pretty exciting because I'm like, since I work so much, like the 70 hours a week thing, I'm like brain dead a lot. So I'm like, yeah, I'm changing things up a little bit. But peace out, my niggas. Love you guys. Oh, cool.